It has been a rather sombre day in Australian cricket with this tragic news of Phil Hughes. I mean, he's really fighting for his life in hospital after being struck at the back of the head with that bouncer by Sean Abbott. Now, the latest is that Hughes is in an induced coma after undergoing surgery at the hospital earlier this afternoon. Now, Australian team doctor, Dr. Brunker, just addressed the media about 9 p.m. Australian time, and it was clear and it was evident from his face, facial expressions and his tone, the severity of Phil Hughes' conditions. Now, my understanding is that the next 6 to 12 hours are absolutely crucial as Phil Hughes fights for his life. Now, one man who's still at the hospital is Michael Clarke. Now, it is understood that Cricket Australia were about to release a statement this afternoon ruling Clarke out of the first Test match, but has naturally have to held that back with the Phil Hughes scenario. Now, my understanding is Clarke was not willing to travel down to Adelaide and play in that tour match because the 2 hours flight back actually hinders his healing process on his hamstring and it affects his ability to recover. Now, you have to remember that Michael Clarke did fly over to UAE nearly 10 days or a week before the Test matches, so his hamstrings could recover from the flight, and that's what Alex Contouris, the Australian physio, has said in the past. He needs that extra bit of time. Now, with the tour match, he would have had to fly down to Sydney, to Adelaide, to Brisbane. Instead, it would have been he wants to play in that grade match and just to prove his fitness, which clearly the selectors were not happy with. Of course, it's the third time in 6 weeks. It has really been a circus with Clarke, and he's dictating his own way to prove his fitness rather than the team medicos, and that's where the issue is. Today, of course, James Sutherland, the CEO, also came out and said that he's looking for a please explain from Michael Clarke. And now, unfortunately, we'll have to wait as the cricketing world tragically waits for this tragic event of the injury to Phil Hughes. So there's plenty happening down here in Australia over the past 2 days. Let's hope for some good news from Phil Hughes tomorrow morning.